Oh,
No, it's so long.
looks like he had to do it.
And you're live.
Oh shit!
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got music.
I'll say all day as the city lays in the sun. Green pie and the apple china made so sweet fun.
Oh, he's got music.
Tricky dicks got some lick smoke, so suck me up, baby.
All right. Oh.
You're live.
Whoa.
All day as the city lays in the
Well,
Would you open your phone?
Oh, cool. Sorry. I had the YouTube page open on another browser. Welcome everyone to God, Weed, Evan, the Roberti Chronicles.
Woo woo.
I like that.
My name is Paul Gukowski. With me always is Katie Hartman.
It's me. That's true. Not a lie.
Is it?
No.
What about you? Are you really Will Nunziata?
What?
So you're saying
yeah.
you're not Will Nunziata. Great. And we have with us again is Chris Roberti, everyone.
Hi, guys, gang, folks.
Hi.
And for
I'm
those
so
listening
glad to be
at,
here.
thank you so much for coming again, Chris. For anybody listening to the podcast version of this, just know that we are live streaming it on YouTube right now in the present, but you are in the future.
There's no way that they could see this then.
Well, you can always go back onto YouTube.
Oh,
To
okay.
check. They live there forever.
Oh, okay. So they could
Uh-oh.
refer them to that
Someone
page.
could be listening to this in their car or in the public transportation, perhaps with a mask on, hopefully. And then they were like, oh, you know what? I'd rather watch this.
Yeah.
Hopefully not if they're driving, unless they have one of those Teslas that drive themselves.
Ooh.
I don't think we have any listeners who have self-driving Teslas.
Did
though.
you know
If you
that
do,
Tesla
drop
has
us a note.
there's a fun thing in the Tesla car. There's like a game screen, and
An
there's like a
electric
prank. There's a prank button where you could just make fart noises, and your passenger will think that you're farting. That's like a
how
feature.
real are those fart noises, though? Because I've heard fake fart noises before. I've used them in my sketch comedy, and there's very few ones that sound real.
Thank
Can
you, Katie.
any of you guys do a good one? Okay. Nunziata?
A little poppy. Let me go more of a.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
I do a similar one, but it's not as good. Katie Hartman? Yeah, that's similar. All right. That's mine.
That's good.
We're all sad trumpet farts.
They're all of a kind, yeah.
Nope.
Great. So if you're in here, for our listener, that's for Austin Matulka driving around in his Tesla. Carl Cardigan is wondering, what here? What are you drinking? I'm drinking a big Sapporo.
Ooh, that's a good beer, man.
Yums.
I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles, California. La La Land.
What's the weather like? Really hot? Fires everywhere, right?
It's fire. Yeah, it's hot. I was in Colorado. There was lots of fires there. And then I came here. They got lots of fires here.
I'm going to say there's one similarity. We're tracking it, and it's you, Paul. You bring the fire.
Yeah.
I do bring the heat, Katie Hartman.
Oh, that's what I should have said.
So right before we hopped on, I was eating dinner. I ordered sushi takeout, and I went and picked it up and got a beer with it. And then I was watching the beginning of the DNC, and there was I was like just weeping openly to like a gun. There was a gun thing that Emma Gonzalez narrated, and then there was a climate change and Kathy Gifford. Kathy Gifford? What's her name?
Kathy Lee Gifford?
No, sorry. What's the one from New Mexico? The former
Gabby.
The one that got
Gabby
shot.
Gifford.
Yeah. And I'm just like openly, I don't know if it's because I haven't slept a lot lately, but I was just openly weeping watching this into my sushi. I was like snotty. It was gross. It was a bad scene.
You know, it does that for me. Will and Katie know. I've been watching a lot of different versions of Defying Gravity from the musical Wicked. And there's one point, you can talk to me offline about what really makes me cry, but
Was there a specific part of that song?
it's when she takes off on the broom, and then she said, "It's not her, it's me." And for whatever reason, that it's me, something musically is happening, and also taking all of the saying, "I am me," stepping into her wickedness, as it were.
As it were.
Makes me cry.
Well, I mean, that is a very good end of an act one.
Jesus
right
Christ, could you imagine? You can't beat that.
I
You know
find
what I
myself.
learned?
I have a thing that makes me cry all the time, and it could be even like random YouTube videos. It's whenever someone is reunited with an animal or a family member after a long period of time, and or like if like a kid is coming home from the army and surprising his mom, like those kind of videos will make me cry. And if there's ever a scene in the movie where you know, a couple or a family sees each other after a long period of time and it's just overwhelmed with emotion, that gets me every time.
Katie Hartman, what makes you cry?
Fucking everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why? You
What made you cry today?
Yeah. Oh, what made me cry today? My lack of discipline and my continuous need, even a pandemic, to push things off and never finish the things the way I wanted to.
I thought you were going to say the thing, like even in a pandemic, the need to do things.
No. That's a new thing. For I have, up until I want to say 3 weeks ago, have truly felt the need to do nothing.
Oh,
and then
good.
Suddenly, I was like, well, if this is our new reality, I need to fucking do something. So I have now started doing too much. But it's fine. What else am I going to do?
Right.
I thought you were going to say the song Popular from Wicked.
I thought you were going to say the song Popular by Nada Surf.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a more known. Which is a more known Popular? Depends on who you're, if you played sports in high school or not.
Fortunately, I'm like right in the middle of those two things. So they both make me cry.
That's great. Maybe we'll. I have a feeling one of us. I feel very fragile. But I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
funny that we're talking about crying because this record can definitely make one cry, and perhaps was birthed out of sadness and breakups.
For those of you listening on our podcast, Will held up a CD cover of Quebec by Ween.
And we have Chris Roberti here today, who has written a poem inspired by every track. Chris, is that right?
Yeah, and as it stands right now, the title of the poems are the title of the tracks.
That works.
And,
makes it easy.
Yeah, maybe, again, fans can go and suggest a name, and then we'll hit them up on the chat page.
So today is Roberti's Quebec.
Nice.
And I think we need to jump into it.
Yeah.
If we want to get through all these.
We do. I also want to say I have some theories about the album. I kind of, I don't know. I guess I could talk about it at the end, maybe. But
I think it's nice to do that now.
Yeah.
I think this album is about the settlement of North America. It's about colonialism. And I don't exactly, I mean, I could take you through track by track, but basically it tells the story of, like the first song I think is from the point of view of the Native Americans or the indigenous people. This guy's new in town. They think they can party. Wait until they see what we party. And then slowly, they become overwhelmed. There's also some sort of like psychedelic stuff happening there. I can't really. So my big the big story is, like I said, conquest and colonialism, and then this also with like apocalypse or post-apocalyptic thing, which I do think is in colonial event. Anyway,
This is already a wonderful and takes me for a left turn right away.
Okay, good.
And I thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our first track and our first poem. It's
2 more
gonna be-
things. Well, one
Oh,
more
yeah.
thing. This album came out on my birthday, on my 24th birthday, I found out.
Wow.
How was 24 for you?
I think it was okay. I mean, who knows when things really turn downhill, but could have been then. Could have been then. All right, let's go.
All
So, there's a preface to the poems, and I looked up what Quebec meant, and in the, I want to say, oh shit, I should know this. Ojibwe, I think, would be the whatever the tribe or the tribal language.
Say it again.
Ojibwe, the Ojibwe language. Quebec means the place where the river narrows.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So the kind of a preface is the place where the river narrows, the easy life is over. And then there's a little thing that I would, if this were a book, it would be a quote. It would say, "I want to live in the world of music. We are all invaders in this world." So, but that's something that I wrote. That I don't have to give that to anybody.
No,
So
keep it.
So the first poem is "It's Gonna Be a Long Night."
I'm definitely gonna cry. By the way.
Yeah, this is gonna be so great.
Okay. This guy fucks like Motorhead in bed, or that guy from Motorhead who is dead. And all the boats on the horizon thought that they could party, but watch us potlatch them into oblivion. They think it's a vacation, but wait till the boredom sets in. Wait till you're you again.
Oh my God.
I know we're a limited amount of time. I think it would behoove us all if you were to. Is it too much to ask to read it again, or is that bad?
Oh, I can read it. It's a short one. I mean, I could also share this Google Doc with you.
So I think we should definitely put this on. We should share this with the listeners at some point. But
all right, it's going to be a long night. This guy fucks like Motorhead in bed, or that guy from Motorhead who is dead. And all the boats on the horizon thought they could party, but watch us potlatch them into oblivion. They think it's a vacation, but wait till the boredom sets in. Wait till you're you again.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh,
I like that word,
second time.
potlatch.
Yeah. Do you know about potlatches?
No, I know nothing about potlatch.
So it's a Native American tradition where you would basically invite your neighboring communities over and just feed them as a display of wealth. And so if you were the guest, you would eat and eat and eat, and then you would go outside and throw up, because to say I can't eat anymore is sort of a sign of weakness. And then at a certain point, they would pour like oil from the ceiling into the fire. Again, this is sort of like a display of wealth, this like super valuable thing. And there are stories of like entire lodges burning down because of this thing. And it's also thought that this was a way of redistributing wealth, because if I were the king or the emissary from this neighboring tribe and I had to, I went here, and even if I left in disgrace with all of this like abundance from my enemies or my whatever neighbors, I would then take that back to my people. And so there was, I learned this in college, so this could be old information, but
New to me.
Thank you.
There you go.
Well, you said so. Potlatch is feeding your neighbors to excess, which is what also reminds me of potluck, which is the name of a track off the B-sides to the Quebec record.
No,
a song called Potluck.
This stuff happens only on God Save Queen
God save the Evan Queen.
Yeah. All right, this is interesting now. All right, so that was "It's Going to Be a Long Night."
What'd you think of the song itself? Visceral?
Yeah, it feels like it's awesome. I could go back and forth here. I like when he said 9/11 won't help you, fool.
Yeah.
And it felt like This guy,
Call your doctor,
it's
call
been a
police.
real romp. I said, I have never partied this hard. But then it ends in this, wreck and a howl. And I think I think this person is in over their head. Again, my point of view is like, this is from the indigenous people seeing these people arrive, and they're like, we can party too, but they don't know necessarily what the agenda is.
God
They don't know the
damn.
full wrath. The full wrath. That's
Right, and the coldness, so to speak. All right,
Love
let's
it.
go.
Well, let's
Yeah.
go to track
Great.
2, Zoloft.
All right, so I have to scroll back down. I've got my notes, and then I've got my poems. Okay, Zoloft. A doctor in an elevator took all the drugs he had on him, and in the coat of the nurse to his left, then all of the medicines and pills in the nurse's cart. Timothy, slow down, she said, but Timothy couldn't hear or wouldn't. He was crying so hard and began patting me down for drugs. He begged, please. I said, I'm just a patient, and I showed him my plastic bracelet. He wept deep, grieving weeps, so I, of course, felt bad about not being a doctor. I handed him over some syringes and vials I stole from Floor 7's medicine chest. The look in Dr. Timothy's eyes when I handed him the drugs made me feel like Jesus Christ, and for a moment, I forgot I was dying very soon.
I hate you so much. I hate how talented you are. I hate you. I hate
Well,
I hate everything about you.
You have to know that I feel like shit all the time, so...
I mean, so do I, but I don't have what you have.
I'm okay. Thank you. I'll take a compliment.
Wow. Oh, wow. What a journey.
Well, come back to me.
I mean, that poem just makes me feel like I'm living in a sequel to Cuckoo's Nest.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I was a similar kind of feeling of. I was trying to find the reference of like what director, what film that made me think of. Maybe it's Cuckoo. Yeah, maybe that's it. But just like the.
And Cuckoo's Nest had Chief as one of the main
who was a
characters.
Native American?
Native American who's trying to escape the system, and it has the sacrifice of what's his name, McMasters?
McMurphy.
Jack Nicholson? McMurphy, thank you. The sacrifice of McMurphy to free Chief. There's a much bigger picture here.
I'm trying to think.
What'd you think of the song?
I mean, it's like very saccharine, like the line "Make me love me." It's like, I think would be from the point of view of the invaders. They're, if I'm pushing that story. Did I like Zoloft? I'll also say I bought Spotify for this album because I usually didn't. I never had Spotify. And so now I have Spotify Premium so that I could listen to this.
Congrats.
And it's been good. It's been a real good thing.
Polly's got some good playlists up there. You could listen to him.
I do, Roberti. I'd be happy to share them with you once you send me your poems.
Okay, this is the deal. And I also think these first 3 songs are really it's like partying, drinking, then Zoloft kind of, and then some psychedelic experience. And then it gets into what I think of like basically a missionary talking about Jesus and stuff.
Oh.
Not missionary position, no.
Okay, sorry.
Although I'll have to look for that.
So our next track is perhaps one of the 3 hits off this record. It's everyone's favorite song, Transdermal Celebration. When I was in Savannah, I bought the record for this, and I don't even own a record player, but I just wanted to support the band in some way.
I know
so now I'm starting a Ween record collection.
Oh, nice.
So
this one is called Transdermal Celebration. I never took enough drugs. Fear of throwing up, fear of what I'd become or what I'd prove myself to be. For those same reasons, I never dated until after high school, and even then kept my love in sealed cases and prayed to God to take me soon. I'm on the outside of some tremendous thing. I can see through the membrane, but it is impenetrable, or rather, I am too weak to penetrate. So it did say penetrate in there, and that, I guess, could be construed as sexual, Paul.
This one seems personal.
How autobiographical was this one, Roberti? Do you feel?
I think, I mean, all of these, well, so far, yeah, maybe this is the most autobiographical.
It felt like the Zoloft felt like a surreal dream, like a dream sequence.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing about Zoloft was like it seems like a fun story or a fun song, but there's something sinister at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of at the heart of that. Yeah.
What do we think transdermal celebration, the phrase, means?
I mean, I think there's a syringe. They're like going through the dermis.
Yeah, it's heroin, right?
I think so, but I also think, hold on, I got to go back. What did I say? Across the skin, party through the skin, a needle or a knife, kind of this like vision stuff. I said I love the guitar in this. Oh, what is he saying? 1,000,000 miles to Marquet or My Gate or Margate?
To Mark A. Hold on, I got the lyrics here. A billion. Oh, it's hey, 1 billion miles to Mark A.
It's like a name or position on a map.
No, that's a great question. I think it's a position on the map, or I think it's also him finding the spot to shoot.
Yeah.
There is a very cool music video for this song that was fan made, and then Ween took it as their official video. It's all these little Boognish aliens invading the Earth. It's a very, very cool video.
Also, Roberti, this is one of Evan's actual favorite Ween songs.
Yeah, I think it's
like,
number one for him.
Yeah.
Really? I don't think I don't know. I have to re-listen to it. It was not one of my top hits.
You crazy.
You know it.
You're fucking crazy. I would say it's probably like my 4th or 5th favorite song on this album. Though it's not my. It's
not your typical.
But I also this is one of my favorite Ween albums. But,
Okay.
Yeah. Among his tribe.
Now, of course, even in the title of the track, hopefully there's some resonance with a colonial experience.
I'm feeling Native American on this one.
Well, but it seems like it's a story of Jesus or some mystic. So you get both. You get the West and then the New World. Okay. Among his tribe. The heavens speak but cannot be understood. An alarm somewhere believed the missionaries and leggy mamas in the forest, the new cafes and outdoor seating. There is a sounding alarm. The priest wore lilies and gold. There was a panic. There was stained glass, which is sand and dye, fired to a temperature of 3,090 degrees. Frozen blood, bloody blood. The veins narrow as they break free from the heart. Quebec.
I think we're gonna have to we have to publish these, Roberti. These I think
I
are bad.
I did think there's something here.
There is something here.
Oh, there's a there for sure.
Oh my God.
And we could make you look like this photo on the
It's
Quebec
so
album
close.
cover. Pretty
With
easy.
Almost nothing.
Yes.
When I wake up in the middle of the night, this is what I see. My eyes are all out of whack.
You're like the more handsome Ween cousin. I don't know what your name would be. Ween.
Yeah.
Blue
jeans, Ween.
Gene.
All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
So many people in the neighborhood. Now, this again would definitely be the the view of the Native Americans. All these new people in our neighborhood. Hold on, I got it. Trying to manage my screen here. God damn it. Okay, there we go. So many people in the neighborhood. Amy isn't as incendiary as Lorelai. Lorelai would say things like, you get to go away. You have the resources to go away. I can't be mad at Anna for having money. You get nowhere for being angry at someone for that. There's what? Ew. I'm reading Hannah Arendt right now. Yeah, totalitarianism. Yes, she's smart. It's good. Totalitarianism, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like off chilling over here. I'm getting into horror movies to get over it because I've got nothing better to do. I watched It Follows, Silence of the Lambs, Saw. Every time I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I think there's someone in the bathroom. Oh my God, should I go pee in the coffee shop? Shouldn't I go pee in the coffee shop or back to Anne's apartment?
I love the variety of these poems.
Well, I will say that I was sitting in a park and this is kind of, I've edited it, but these are things that this woman next to me was saying on a phone call.
Amazing.
Was
it me?
Kind of a phone. Katie, all of these poems are your words.
Oh God, that's why they were familiar.
Just as the other side of the coin, I'd like to read the actual lyrics.
Song. Yeah.
So many people in the neighborhood. I don't know if they're very good people. How's about a piece of pie? Ding dong, ding dong. Socks and locks and cocks and rocks. Stay inside. Stay inside.
It's too prescient. Prescient?
Yeah.
Prescient.
Prescient.
Prussian.
Prussian.
Yes.
So Protestant?
Yes.
Precious. What's that movie? Precious?
With Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Golem. It's a movie about Golem and
oh my God. All right.
Gollum stealing fried chicken at the beginning of Precious. Oh Christ. Okay.
Our next track is Tried and True.
Oh yeah.
Tried and True. Tried and True is the title of this poem, of course. So they're all the title of the whatever. Tried and True. Is Tim Curry dead? I have a memory of him dying, but I have a memory of him tweeting. So both in my mind, alive and dead. I will never die. I will wait for a new lover. I could wait many lifetimes for something to happen. Love, success, cataclysm. But I won't or I can't, as I am all creation now, so I want nothing. And just when you think you are all there is, you hear another voice saying whatever little things you've been saying all along. Similar enough to be attractive. Different enough to be attractive.
Schrodinger's Curry.
Truly. Is Tim Curry dead?
No.
He's still alive.
Yeah,
Good.
but there was a rumor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Is Simon Cowell dead?
What?
No.
No, he got into like some bike accident, I think.
I must have dreamt it. Or if he got into an accident, maybe I thought he was dead.
You just exaggerated the accident in your mind.
As I'm sure Simon Cowell has done for, yeah.
Jeez, I feel dead.
Oh, God, I'm loving these poems.
Hey, good. I'm glad. I really loved writing them. It was such an occasion to write poems, which I never really do anymore.
Chris, is it when you're writing a poem,
Sure.
do you think about the performance or the reading of it? Like, are poems meant to be read aloud, or are they meant to be on a page?
Well,
what do you think?
Oh.
I really got no idea. I think they're the thing I like most about them is performing them. But I think when you write them down, maybe you can write them in a certain way so that the performance in the person's head reading it is sort of, it's like a musical score.
Mm.
But I just think about, I mean, I don't read it out loud when I'm writing it. I think there's a rhythm thing that happens to me, especially towards the end, or as I feel the end kind of coming. What are your experiences with writing poetry or reading or consuming poetry?
Mine are very, very not much writing. I mean, song lyrics I've written a bunch, and they can be poetic but not poetry. I took a poetry class in college, and I just put a whole bunch of song lyrics into my final packet.
Nice.
And the professor wrote back, it's like, "Are you sure these aren't songs?" So like he knew.
I've heard Tusk songs before, Mr.
No, they were all my songs. I wasn't just giving them all Fleetwood Mac. This is my packet called Rumors.
You just put like the Blues Run the Game as your final poetry piece. Take a boat to England. Really, Miss Annunziata? Katie, do you
a mulatto, an albino, a mosquito, my libido.
Katie Hartman, do you do any poetry writing?
No, not really. I just last week or the week before, what is time? I was a theater teacher person for a high school writers week. It was great, and I've done that program like many summers in a row, and I always love it because that's one of the only times that I get like immersed in poetry, and it's like all these really wonderful people bring these new. So I bought actually a book of poems.
What book?
That's a great question because now I can't think of it.
Not important.
I will look it up, but I bought it because like one of the teachers brought in this poem for the kids to read, and I loved it so much. And
oh wow.
Yeah, so I along with not having been creative at all until like 3 weeks ago, I also haven't been able to like read anything.
Yeah,
so
I don't. Yeah.
I've bought a bunch of books, and I need to just dive in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holly, I know you write poetry.
I do write. I'm no Roberti, that's for sure. I mostly write poems on my phone on the subway.
I mean, that's like, what's his name? The lunch poem, Frank O'Hara.
Yeah. My work has been compared to
that, yeah.
I'll write my mom I wrote my mom a poem for her 70th birthday. You know, I'll write. I write. You know, it's usually out of times of like darkness or lust. Or the subway, which everyone knows. All of our longtime listeners know that I adore the subway.
Well, that's where darkness and lust go together.
Yeah.
Ain't that the T. Ruth?
Let's keep going.
Let's go forward.
Happy Colored Marbles.
Nice.
By Chris Roberti.
Nobody could really prove their sanity, no matter how hard they try or how sane they appear. The human superpowers are misdirection and cleverness, masterminds all. Nobody can prove really, no matter how often they appear to be and manipulate themselves to be and assert that they are and have corroboration saying that they are and references at the ready, certified that they are, notarized that they are, willing to testify under oath that they are sane.
This felt like a monologue from Infinite Jest.
Haven't finished it.
No one has.
My dad did, and my sister did.
I did too, actually. I'm just
all right.
But have you ever read Straight Man by Richard Russo?
No.
He talks about he's like about a college, like it's really kind of like college professor who's just kind of small town, tenured, over it, like destroying his life, but like in a comical way because there's nothing matters. But at one point, his wife, who's like watching him fall apart, or maybe it's his mother-in-law, someone tells him like, he's like, you're obviously very clever. And he's like, oh yeah. And she's like, there really is nothing worse than a clever man. No, it's always stuck with me.
True.
It's true.
What'd you think of the song Happy Colored Marbles, Chris?
I'm trying to recall it in my mind. I wrote my first feeling. What number is it? 8? Wait, this is. This
is
feels
track
like
7.
taking my brains and putting them in your coat. Yeah. This is. I said the weird voices bug me. Most people are not okay, but they're taking their siestas in the sun. I think it's like drugs as a stupefier, or the idea of most people aren't, or the inherent pain of living and the way that we kind of try to dull that, but also being able to see, all these other people are in some kind of stupor, and maybe I can, rise above that or use that. Then what did I say? Something epic happens in this in this song. The fires, the forges of the stars, the billows or whatever, the furnace of the heaven.
Yeah. There's
Inside
a whole
the
thing.
furnace, the seams are tight and the heat is total. Did I say that, or is that in the song?
I think you
said that.
Okay.
Yeah, but this song is really peachy clean on one end, and then you're taking like a gondola ride through hell on the on during the choruses or during the bridge.
I absolutely feel. I taught in one of the poems there's about the ferry boat in hell. I mean, this seems much more mythical. The album, it has mythological kind of feel, and the Argus is like a direct kind of whatever.
Very much so, yeah. That's my favorite Ween song.
I like that one a lot.
Hey there, Fancy Pants.
Now this reminded me of the Beatles, of like the White Album stuff.
Totally.
But let me see what I said. Hey there, Fancy Pants. Hey there, this is the poem. As a young boy, I went to the arcade in the night, the warm lights and a hot night, and my sunburned body oozing heat. My pockets full of scrounge quarters on my own, a boy in the dark summer. And then, out of the crowd, an older boy, but no bigger, faced me and said, "Give me a quarter." I refused. "Give me a quarter." I left my game in progress. He followed me like a shark for 20 minutes while I walked ahead of him, looking back, watching the games I had been waiting to play open up and be claimed. This boy was relentless. I walked out into the night towards the white beach and black sea, looking for my family, to tell them what a great time I had had and how quickly I ran out of money. To corroborate my lie, I dug a hole, poured the quarters in, and buried them, too deep to be discovered.
I love that. That's what you got out of this song.
What are you doing here?
Well, I also say, I mean, these are,
Is this the Democratic National Convention?
guys. I wrote each of these while listening to this. I listened to the album a few times, and then I wrote them while the song was playing. So sometimes sometimes I just tried to let the feeling of the song, combined with like the lyrics. And there was like this, like, I think it's a fun song, but there's there's something sinister at the bottom of it.
Yeah, this whole
a lot of Ween. I mean, that really actually describes a great deal of the catalog. Sorry.
Yeah, and this record was the probably darkest point in the band. Gina, the singer, was going through a huge divorce during this, and I think everyone was going deep into their druggy holes. It became less of a fun time and more of a dark time. And also, Claude doesn't really play drums on this record because he was recovering from like this horrific car accident that he was in, where he was told he was never going to walk again, let alone play drums. And so all while this album was being recorded, they brought in all these guest drummers, and there's just this darkness that's under like almost all these tracks.
Right. And I wrote for you it feels like The Shining, the Native American genocide, kind of this sort of thing on top, like you said, the surface, but also an acknowledgement that like everyone has like shattered dreams and broken parts, you know.
Yeah, it's a pull from that song. The next song is Captain.
Captain. I like this one. This is one of my favorite songs. Captain. This is your river, the underworld river. Will
Sticks.
I'm the band.
Captain. I got too much time on my hands.
I'm almost sure it's Sharon, the name of the person who ferries the dead from the world of the living into eternity, or what surely feels like it. No pleading, please. She's heard it all before and worse than you can do. But still, I cried and writhed around. I kept one eye on Sharon to see if it was working. Maybe I would break the world with my sorrow. I could annihilate nature with my selfish sadness.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I can hear the song over that. It's sort of. Like
and this again, this is like a guy. This is a captain. Turn around, take me home. I want to go back to Europe. Mm-hmm. This has been a terrible nightmare. Coming to the new world, you know, like it's just a fucked up, drugged up mess. Nobody's happy.
I don't know if this is a correlation, but I just watched like during quarantine last month, Mel Gibson's Apocalyptico.
Oh yeah, I never saw that. That's like South America. That's like Aztec or Inca, right?
Yeah, it's an intense movie. They all speak, you know, in like this dead Mayan language. And it's all about just, I mean, and I don't want to ruin the end. It's a good movie.
Gibson hates Jews.
Yeah, need you be reminded.
Need you be reminded.
Our next track, Paul Gutowski's favorite track on this record, maybe, Chocolate Town.
Oh, it's definitely up there.
Chocolate Town. Haven't you heard about this town? Everything's chocolate. The trees, homes, the grass, and gutters. It's a fucking mess. Stay away from that place. Tons of bees.
Can you read it again, please?
Yeah, that's a little short one. It'll get you. Chocolate Town. Haven't you heard about this town? Everything's chocolate. The trees, homes, the grass, and gutters. It's a fucking mess. Stay away from that place. Tons of bees.
It's always summer in Chocolate Town.
Oh,
it reminds me. There's actually there's a really great David Berman poem called New York, New York. That's about it's like they built another New York just west of the regular New York. And every day the workers go there and they're in charge of building replicas of their own homes. And they love it. They start to love it there. And every day they come home later and later. And the women, you know, it's misogynistic. Like the women start to worry, the soup gets cold. Like, and then one day, a foreman hears a noise and looks up, and all the workers look up, and they're like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Pigeons." It reminded me, that Chocolate Town poem reminded me of that. It's like, oh, Chocolate Town. Can you imagine living in a town made of chocolate?
I love that everything else has also just been so like emotional, and then this is just like, stay away from that chocolate town. There's bees.
There's bees everywhere.
Gotta mix it up.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do you like? What's going on with Ween and chocolate?
Well, there's obviously the connection to brown, which is do we talk about that on your last appearance on the program?
I don't think so.
No.
Well, it's a heavy concept, but basically it's like it's it can be a lot of things. It's everything and all things. When it's really good, like good brown is like maybe during Happy Colored Marbles where there's like that.
Yeah.
That's a brown. It's not the brown note, obviously.
Right.
Maybe it is. We've discussed that as well. But
Yeah, I know about that.
But brown is also can be really bad. You know, brown. Mickey, the guitar player, described it. There's one quote about like the Ramones when they showed like they opened up for the Ramones. The Ramones showed up like they had no gear or like their car was like ripped apart. They had no doors on their car.
Yeah,
But
like
that's also
a broken station wagon.
Yeah. So they have a live record called "Paint the Town Brown." It's kind of a philosophy, attitude, an aesthetic, a sound. It's all of these things, an attitude.
You know that like when you're hearing like somebody just ripping a guitar solo, and you have to kind of make a face because it's just so like, it's so nasty. Like he is just a nasty guitar. Like that is brown to me. Like where it's just so disgustingly good.
But it can also
So
go real
up in a
wrong.
good way.
It can go real wrong too. Where like this album is brown. It's emotionally brown, I think, and it's sadness. And brown's also like brown can be druggy. I think it's the idea that Will was saying they were getting into these more druggier, where it's like it's not a party if it happens every night kind of thing.
Right.
And brown's like where it starts to creep up the back of your neck, like yeah.
Huh. I like that.
And Chocolate Town is written about. It's about Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton makes the world takes.
It's about buying drugs in chocolate. It's about buying and getting arrested, I think, in Chocolate Town. They like Trenton as a black town.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean,
the only song on the
like
record
this
not
song.
written by the boys.
They did not write this song.
Their best friend, Mean Ween, penned the lyrics to this song. Our next track is "I Don't Want It."
This one I love. I really like this song too. Okay, hold on. I don't want it. For a few years, I kept returning to my college at graduation. I was in love, I guess, with some people there. I was in love with a girl, a boy, a doctor. I was in love with what I could have done if I went back and did it again, knowing all I know now. Forget about it. I'll do it right this time. It'll be clean. No hole of regret, no need for it. I'd walk away completely complete in my cap and gown. I'd never turn around, never even move out of student housing. I used everything up so thoroughly, completely. My possessions do not exist. My possessions vaporized at my final touch. I ascended into heaven, complete, free of longing, free of mind and ambition, a god or a bird or a wave of radio.
I do want it.
This just seemed like an old song that I would have listened to. This seems like, kind of a breakup song, and that resonated of this like nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what the song is about. I think there's a lot of nostalgia in the song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think so. Back in my colonization story, it's like this guy went away real happy, left his wife or whatever behind him and his family, and then he's like, "Oh, it wasn't that good. I wish I wouldn't have gone on this trip, so to speak."
What are you guys most nostalgic for in your lives? Is there a specific time or an event or?
I think being in COVID, in quarantine, I started to really. The answer for me is 2003, but I really started like songs that I listened to in that era started like coming back to me, and I started to really have sense memories of that time. That was just after I graduated. It was my living alone for my first time in Boston. I had this like shitty basement apartment, but it was like very cozy. So that I think there's something about there. It felt like it was very lonely and cold, but it also was like potential and
Yeah.
You know.
What about you guys?
Oh, now I'm gonna cry. We did it. Are we done?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the end of the podcast.
Okay,
actually.
bye. No, I was just
Bye.
thinking of, because it's August and David and I were supposed to be in Edmonton doing our show now. But I was thinking of the first time I went to the Edinburgh Fringe with Leah. It was just the most fun and like so hard. And we slept on like a couch and like a pool raft in like somebody's place and paid too much money for it. And we performed every night at 11 o'clock to like drunk people. But like throughout the month, we like built this huge audience and like, so much fun and met all these people and really like felt validated in our own comedy for the first time, I think, outside of New York City, because performing in New York City is just so hard. And like it felt as like, oh, okay, like this is a good thing. And this is like, yeah, just like staying up till forever and getting wasted and waking up late and seeing ghosts. It was great.
Yeah. Similar to Roberti, so Stacey and I spent July, we rented a house in Boulder, which is our college town. And so it very much, and I had a lot of feelings, a lot of like, I would walk by the house I lived in senior year all the time. And we like went for bike rides on campus, and I would go at like our dorms and there's certainly a romanticism wrapped up in those years, but there's also like being older and not being drunk or or snorting MDMA or like I was like, oh, I wasted so much time here. Like this is the most beautiful place I've ever lived. I lived here for 4 years, and there was a hike at the end of our street that we were living on, Mount Sanitas, and we did it like every day this month, like in July, because it was there. It's like we could just walk outside. It's the nicest thing we could do. And I never did it in college because I was just so fucking drunk and stoned the entire time. And so it's like there's a nostalgic, but also like missed. Like if I could do it again, I think I would do it very differently. But I don't know that I would, because I would be young, dumb, and full of cum. But yeah.
All right, our next track.
Wait, Will,
Should we
did you
just
say
say
this
this one?
When are you
Well, what
nostalgic
about-
for, Will?
I mean, it's from the same time period. It's for the first, I think, 4 years that I lived in New York. We were all in an apartment in Williamsburg together, and none of us had any money. We were all working like shitty jobs. I was performing or rehearsing just about every night, coming home like super late, and just all of my free time was just spent, with my friends in my home. And yeah, and I'm nostalgic. I think I did waste time, like Paul said, but it's also like I grew up and I lived, it was like by my, on my own. So I did pine for a little of those days, especially during Corona, because I was home in New York for 3 weeks while my family was down in Savannah, and I was supposed to be working in my office, but they canceled it last minute, and so I just was in this apartment alone for 3 weeks. I don't think I've ever been alone that long ever, and I started to lose my mind. I went days without like talking to people, which has never happened. Which brings us right into the fucked jam.
Fuck jam. Honey, where are the keys? You had them earlier today. My heart is pounding. I think I'm having an aneurysm here. Honey. That's the poem.
That feels like every day for me.
Yeah, that would hit a little too close to home.
Now,
Where's my wallet? Where's my
should
mask?
say-
Where's my mask is my new one.
this is written. The first line has 2 syllables. The second line has 4 syllables. Then the next line has 8 syllables. Then the next line has 16 syllables, and then it has 2 syllables again. Because the end of this song has all these like false endings.
Oh yeah.
And like very weird breaks. And I thought, oh, it'd be interesting maybe to structure a poem like that. Or with
Is that a song you ever want to listen to again?
I kind of like it. I think I like that one a lot. I listened to it a few times. I like it.
Yeah.
You crazy.
You are crazy, but I love it.
Let me see. What did I write about it?
I think it's a fun song. Katie, why don't you like that song?
Just grates on me. It like it's like gets in my like spinal liquid, and I hate it.
Really, it feels like it felt like a transmission
Itchy.
from outer space. Like it was like these pulsing. Yeah, I like music like that.
Yeah, there's a frequency that hits me in the wrong place. It makes me like my skin go.
Like Fire in the Sky. It's like when he sees the syrup in Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. That's the ticket.
Alcan
Alcan
Road.
Road. Do you know what this means, Alcan Road?
I do not know. Do you know?
I think it's the Alaska-Canada Road.
Oh my gosh.
So that
I'll Google.
I did Google it, and that came up there.
Guys, it's the Alaska Highway.
Right.
I just Googled. It was constructed during World War II to connect contiguous United States to Alaska across Canada. I just looked it up. No big deal.
Well, that's how I figured it out. I don't have that knowledge in my head. Anyway, this is a total apocalyptic environment. Alcan Road. Oh, and so I wrote this as a prayer. Close the doors, O Lord. Break the chains and lockers. Hold, O Lord, the battering ram. Protect us, mighty God. Let the wave roll over and fill us with breath. Dear God, enshrine us in your protecting breast. Plug our ears, O Lord. There is shouting on the roads. Lord, preserve us. Mother us. Do not abandon us, my God. Close the doors tightly and help us to be silent. When our brethren are torn from us, do not let me cry out. Lord, stop the sound in my throat. Imprison my tongue. Amen.
Oof.
Was dark.
That feels like the Native Americans are winning.
Well, you think that's from the point of view of?
Well, yeah, because you're ending with amen, and it's like a very it's a prayer to. It sounds like to Judeo-Christian God to me.
Oh, I see what you're saying, and you think the people praying are the
colonists who are about to lose a battle.
I felt like it was the other way, or yeah, I see what you say though, Will. But to me, it felt like when I think about people being ripped apart or brethren being ripped from arms, or I think of like Trail of Tears style shit more than.
Yeah, but those poor colonists, though, they're just there to do a job, and they just happened.
They're not royalty.
Wrong meeting.
All right, Will's canceled.
Jeez, it can happen so quick for you.
Facebook just got rid of all my QAnon groups, so I don't know where.
No, what are you gonna do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Oh, Will.
The best song on the record coming up is the Argus.
Yeah.
Evan Kaufman did not like this song, and that's when it all went down for him.
One of the times. That was one of the times.
One of the best.
Okay, the Argus. Piper sent a card about having friends in hell. We had no idea the hells that awaited us. Here we are, no longer friends, just two old guys sitting in hell, taking whatever fresh breaths we can manage. I wish that when I died, someone would have written a nice piece about me online, and that when I read it, it would have been impossible for me to say they're exaggerating. They're just trying to be nice. That's not really how it was. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, the Argus.
I had McDonald's breakfast this morning in the airport.
What'd you have?
Number 2, the sausage McMuffin with egg meal. That's what I always get.
Sick.
Um,
I mean, what do you guys know about the Argus? Oh, and I love that guitar at the end.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I think it's
Like
widely, the song is widely accepted as a top 3 Ween song, I think, for most people.
Yeah.
In terms of just the songwriting, the melody, the psychedelia aspect of it. It's fun live. It's like it scratches all the itches. In terms of we talked about the Greek mythology story of the Argus.
Yeah.
Right, that it's a watcher, right? What is it? It's got all its eyes.
It has like 100 eyes.
He was a guard.
He was turned into
defending the cow girlfriend.
Yes.
Of Zeus.
That's right.
And then
Zeus tunes the girl into a cow to protect her, and then has the cow to watch it, or has the Argus watch.
And Athena sent the Argus to guard the cow, and Zeus's assassin, I forget who it was, killed the Argus by singing him to sleep and then stabbing him when all the eyes closed. And peacocks.
Oh, that's the eyes in their tails.
Yeah.
Wow.
She paid tribute to the Argus, put the eyes of the Argus onto the feathers of the peacock.
Wow.
I love that
this
song.
Great enunciation of peacock, by the way, Will.
Cock. Oh, thank you.
Almost British.
We're at the end of the record. We have one track left. If you could save yourself, you'd save us all.
Let me just say this. I had an interesting experience writing this poem. I was tired of writing poems at this point.
Sure.
And I wanted to end, but the poem kept me writing, kind of.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it is a great feeling. I think I talked about it with my my creative career counselor today.
And did you make them listen to the song?
Is that Ali Farnakian?
You're familiar with him. You know his work. Great. I'm on a sliding scale every time. No, I don't.
Now we're officially all canceled.
No, I didn't go into the specifics, but she was like, when was the time that you were right, like that you felt kind of in the flow or whatever. I can't say enough good things about this woman I'm working with for like a creative career counselor person. I'll tell you more about it later offline. Okay, if you could save yourself. This is a good song and a good album about drugs and colonialism. I'm fatigued, and all I want to do is eat chocolate cake. All I want to do is get back in really good shape. And all I want to do is be so good at something everybody wants to witness. And all I want to do is love myself. And all I want to do is have made no one unhappy. And all I want to do is watch The Mandalorian on Disney Plus and imagine that I am the Mandalorian or a friend of the Mandalorian. Honorable, well-trained, equipped with a laser and a starship capable of faster than light travel.
Oof. That is like the poem for pandemic quarantine.
Man, I love The Mandalorian. So good. I'm on I haven't watched the last episode. I've been really trying to savor them.
I didn't see any of it. David watched it all while I was doing other stuff.
Watch it.
I don't really need to see it. I don't think. Do I need to?
I love.
You
I mean,
should watch it. It's
like
a Star Wars thing.
It really is.
So good.
And it's cute.
So cute.
And Amy Sedaris is in it.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Oh wow.
And IG-88 is the coolest character.
You know, I know that he's coming back, but
yeah, no spoilers.
There's when the Baby Yoda was like a meme going around.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's like an active video. I don't know. It's not a GIF, but
you can call it a meme. You can call it a meme.
So that when that meme was going around, someone where he's like where Baby Yoda is Baby Yoda they them? Either way, Baby Yoda is turning the music on or whatever, and someone
Yeah.
did it with the fucked jam.
Oh.
Yeah, it kind of worked perfect.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it for so long, and then like I knew Baby Yoda was a thing. I was like, great, that's a spoiler. But that happens in the first episode, so that was that's fine. That's not a real big spoiler.
Okay.
Right.
These poems were such a what a wonderful pleasure to have you on and get to listen to these poems. That's what I meant to say.
Well, thank you. And I really had no, whether or not you like them, I'm glad it seems that you liked at least some of them. It's a healing and a affirming thing to just write them, I think. It's always good having written a poem or written anything. So this is a great occasion to do that.
And I think this is something that the Ween fan base does, is that they all use Ween as like their jumping off point to create in some way. You'll have people that are amazing comic book artists, and they'll create zines. You have people that like to hang out and talk, and will create a podcast.
Yeah.
You have people that
Jewelry.
that want to write music, jewelry. I mean,
Big Joe.
Pins.
yeah, I mean jams.
Yeah.
I mean it's people that give these things to the community.
Yeah.
And Chris, you've used your gift, and you gave us poetry based off of a record, and I think that's kind of perfect.
I loved it.
I have
What
to
do
say-
you understand? Oh, like, what do you guys? What sense do you, as fans, as people in the Ween fandom, how do you locate Quebec?
As Will kind of talked about earlier, I think and I think we maybe mentioned this when we did the chocolate and cheese record, as we were talking about this as a possibility. To me, it feels, even though there's wild psychedelic music on this, and there's the opening song is a Motorhead-esque, fucking thrash rape, who knows, like what the fuck. I think it is like their most, it's kind of their most sophisticated record. It's the record that when they choose to, which they've done their whole career, but I don't think they ever did it to the effect they did it on this one, where they actually choose to write songs about human experience. I think that If You Could Save Yourself I think that's actually the best song on the album. I think that's their masterpiece. I think that's the greatest song they ever wrote. So I think it's an adult record by a band that started when they were 13.
Yeah. So I don't mean to interrupt my own question, but I didn't know what to make of that song. There's like a story in there about the diplomat or whatever, and
I think those are all either inside jokes or metaphors that you could put your own meaning onto. That Aaron probably knows what they're referencing, but the overall the idea of like if you I mean it goes back to the colonialism too, right? Like the mindset of the colonizer, right? That they must be pure. Like a Puritan must, if the Puritan can stay pure, what can't he in this, what can't he fix? What can't he save if he is devout enough?
Yeah.
And I think in terms of the record and the story that Aaron's telling, in terms of monogamy or marriage and commitment, the idea of if you could get your own shit together, you could probably keep you could save the marriage, you could save the relationship, you could save the family.
Or it's equally as hard to save yourself as it is to save the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And I think that's the most realist, heaviest concept that they've ever written or explored.
Also, it's a hard thing to hear. It's a hard thing to know that, it's like, oh, you put so much effort out, to help other people, sometimes. And it's just like, well, if you could fix yourself, that would help other people. But it's almost too much.
I think with the Ween oeuvre, I think this is a lot of people's favorite record, or probably second favorite record. I think it's my second favorite record, and it's got two of my favorite songs in the Ween oeuvre on this record.
Which
the
are what?
last two, the Argus and then Save Yourself. It's the Jordan Pippen of Ween songs.
I don't get it. Is that a basketball reference?
That is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You got it, Katie Hartman.
Swish.
Swish.
So does anyone else have anything about Quebec to chat about?
I before Roberti go, we should give Roberti the last word, and if anybody else wants to say anything, I just want to say thank you, Roberti, for doing. I think we all were very moved, and unsurprisingly, I mean, I think whatever expectations I had, though, they were exceeded.
Oh, good.
Not that I just when the idea came about, it was like I was really excited about it, and this was more than I even dreamt it could be. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
There are some poems that I'm pretty proud of in here.
You should be.
Which is
Chocolate Town.
Chocolate Town.
Yeah, I think we need to release like a little
Chapbook.
order book. Yeah, and it just Chris Roberti's Quebec.
These should be in the Ween zine.
They should be.
They should be on the. Well, we should figure out.
We know a guy.
We know a guy.
We should figure out the best way to. How should we put these out to the world? I mean, Roberti, they're your intellectual property. I mean, they're your property.
I don't care.
How should we?
I'll just send them to you, and
Okay.
then you can put them online or wherever.
We could put them over. We could put them on pictures.
Oh yeah.
And then we could put them on the Facebook group or something. We could make an album.
Right.
I personally can't do that, but
Yeah, if anyone out there has got some Photoshop skills and wants to
I think
the cover of Roberti's Quebec.
I think the Ween zine is a good idea for sure. I don't know what next one Eli is going to do, but he could probably help out with some graphic representation of these poems, though. Maybe.
And apparently in the comments, more Roberti in the future, please.
Hey, I'll do it. I will do it.
Fan favorite.
Who knows what I'll do next time? I'll be asked to do. I mean, I would. I mean, I don't think. Well, I'll just say I would. I don't think.
It got so
really, it's so good. I think I said this last time. It's just so good to see you people.
Yeah, man.
Let's do some plugs, but I know we did them last time, but just in case they didn't see and people didn't hear. Let's do some plugs for your work.
My work? Well, you could see a movie called Same Boat with Katie Hartman and others. Evan Kaufman, David Carl. I mean, I think you have to pay for it, but it's Same Boat. And you don't have to pay for it.
Go buy it.
Go buy it, you cheap sons of bitches. But if for free, and now there's hours of this.
Mm-hmm.
Go to www.ahumanesociety.com.
Please.
And it was a year, so it was monthly kind of like a web. I mean, it was a web series. Katie Hartman's involved in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I mean, if you liked those poems, there are more poems in Humane Society.
Yeah, you could really be liking a Humane Society. The shortest one is about 14 minutes long, and the longest one is about 3.5 hours long.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Isn't one of them 10 minutes? No.
I think the short, we were we're going to make these 8 to 10 minutes. The first one was 14 minutes, and then we just threw any sort of time constraint into the wind.
They're so beautiful, though.
They're
so funny and beautiful.
There's one bit you did on Humane Society that I think about
almost weekly. Every time I see a city bike stand,
Oh, yeah.
that was
was
the
Katie's
whole bit
episode.
with returning city bikes
And getting points.
and getting points. Yeah, I think about that rap all the time.
I'm glad.
Play us out, Molly.
All right. Yeah. Roberti, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Being with us.
Really getting into Ween.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Woo!
Thanks to producer Mikey. Thanks to Osiris.
Thank you, Mikey.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to everybody who's listening to this in the future. We'll be back next month or sometime.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Roberti's going to do an interpretive dance to Painting the Town Brown. Every song, all like 36 tracks on Painting the Town Brown. Roberti's going to do an interpretive dance.
I hope they're short.
They are.
They're not.
But
And then Vallejo is like 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Hard luck, let me run around like you know I do. Hard luck, found a girl I love my whole life through. Hard luck, the sweetest smile meets me with the day. Hard luck, tied in my arms, I hope you'll stay. 'Cause I know with all my heart,
Do this pose, Chris.
alone.
what?
Do this pose.
Hold on. I was what pose? Oh, which one?
Feel like home.
There it is.
That's there.
Hold it.
Pop luck, make me laugh when the tears are running out my eyes.
And we're out.